Life is dependent upon the acts of breathing, for to breathe is to live, and without breathing there is no life. Not only are the higher animals and plants dependent upon breathing for life and health, but even the lower forms of animal life must breathe to live. In breathing, there's a dual principle, which are in and out. You breathe in for life, and you breathe out at death. If you pay close attention, you would realize that life is but a series of breathing, and thus it is the most important function of the body, for all other functions depends on it. Welcome to Back to the Basics, where you learn facts, hope you embrace it. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. I'm fearless. Welcome to Back to the Basics, where you learn facts, hope you embrace it. Watch, like, share, bring in awareness. Watch, like, share, bring in. Each of us may exist for some time without food, a shorter time without water, but without breathing, one's existence may be measured for a little under 30 minutes. And not only are we dependent on breathing for life, but we are largely dependent upon correct habits of breathing for continued vitality and freedom from diseases. In your natural state, you had no need of instruction in breathing, for you breathe naturally and properly as nature intended you to do. Modern civilization, however, have changed you in other respects, and so you have taken on improper methods and attitudes of walking, standing, and sitting, which have robbed you of your birthright from a reptile or a sea creature that breathes with gills inside the womb of your mother for 9 months to a mammal or land creature that breathes with lungs. And so, now you are paying the price. The percentage of normal people who breathe correctly is quite small, and the results can be seen in contracted chests, stooping shoulders, and a terrible increase in diseases of the respiratory organs. Did you know that if we had just one generation of correct breathers, disease would become very rare? For ages in ancient Neolithic Egypt, or Kemet, many people have devoted their time and attention to the development of human beings. The experience of generations of earnest seekers have been passed down for centuries from Hedi Heb, which is Har in Tahuti, which simply means student and teacher. To the pupil, gradually a definite science was built up to what became known as the ancient Egyptian order. The original name of Egypt was Tamare, that which all humans and earth-born deities need to exist. Ta meaning earth, Ma meaning water, and Re meaning the sun. Of the many lessons taught and developed, the science of breathing, in which we ancients call Smai or Smai, was very important in our daily life. Smai is an ancient Tamarian or Egyptian word meaning union. The scientific meaning of the word Smai is the science of proper union breathing. Smai is the oldest true breathing system to exist. But the Hindus, like all others who learnt at the feet of the ancient Tamarian masters, took the word Smai and called it the Sanskrit word yoga, from the word yug meaning join or union, as it is known today. Now, I know that seems absurd, especially if you're hearing it for the very first time and have become complacent with modern acceptance. We ancient Neolithic Tamarians or Egyptians felt the same way when we heard the title Messiah being used by those who subscribe to the Bible, when in fact this word was taken from our Tamarian word Mesa, which means crocodile, because of the fat of the crocodile was made into oil that we Tamarians use to anoint. Even the word Christ was taken from the Greek word Christos, from the Sanskrit word Krishna, which was really taken from the Tamarian word Karas, meaning anoint, who was in fact Har, the real Mesa. Even the name Mary is from the Tamarian name Ma-Re, as in Ta-Ma-Re. Ma-Re was Aset, the real blessed mother of Karas Har. When you do in-depth studies and research, you will find that all existing religion and cultures of today were in fact stolen from our Tamarian culture. The Smai science of union breathing includes not only all that is known to modern physiologists and hygienists as it pertains to physical health along the lines of breathing, but it also goes into the less known phases of the subject, and shows the Smai controls your body mental capacity and develops the spiritual or etheric side of your nature. The Tamarian Smai taught the student a science symbolized as a working method of controlling the body and mind by the will. The will is that by which one deliberately chooses or decides upon a course of action. Smai, which is the science of breathing, is divided into several branches, ranging from that which teaches the control of the body to that which teaches the attainment of the highest spiritual development. The Smai teaching was the rule of life for many people, yet the pure teaching were given only to a few mystics. In fact, the original word mystic in the ancient Egyptian language is Smai. The masses were simply satisfied with the crumbs which fell from the table of the secret orders. In ancient Tamare, or Egypt, there were great schools of Smai, which comprised of thousands of leading minds in that great country in time immemorial. The Smai teaching shows that the physical health depends significantly upon correct breathing, which is inhaling through the nostrils and exhaling through the mouth. Inhaling through the nostrils is healthier, for nose hairs act as filters that prevent dust, pollen, and allergens from entering your lungs, as opposed to inhaling through the mouth, which has no filter and can thus lead to devastating health problems. There are other benefits derived from correct habits of breathing, such as mental power, happiness, self-control, clear-sightedness, moral, and the growth of one's spiritual power can also be increased. The Smai practice exercise by which one can attain control of his or her body and is enabled to send to any organ an increased life force, thereby strengthening and invigorating the organ. Although we know about the physiological effect of correct breathing, the Smai science of Jungian breathing also teaches about the etheric aspect. What many don't know is that the air that we breathe in contains more than just oxygen, hydrogen, and nitrogen. It also contains a life force we ancients call Sekhem, which the Western world is very ignorant to. Sekhem is the universal principle of energy or force exhibited in all living things, from the most elementary form of plant life to the highest form of animal life. The Hindus call it prana and the Chinese call it chi. All energy is derived from this principle, for it is all-pervading. Life is in all things, in every atom, the apparent lifelessness of some things being only a lesser degree of its manifestation. The Smai was called the science of Jungian breathing because it teaches by rhythmic breathing one may bring oneself into harmonious vibration with nature, the exoteric reality of breathing, and your ancestors' Pa Neteru, the esoteric reality of breathing, which aids in the unfoldment of your latent powers, giving you the ability to heal oneself. By controlled Jungian breathing, one can cure diseases in themselves and others, but also practical ways to do away with fear, worry, and selfishness. This is but just an introduction to the Smai Jungian breathing. I'm KHAFRE, and this is Back to the Basic. Like, share, and subscribe. Facts we stated. You wanna know something? Go back to basics. Mozart trapping was called the Matrix. The world frivolized, yet it's hard to face it. So I spread truth, hope you embrace it.